Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul. We're so happy you have joined us today. Are you all ready for a jam-packed video? We have been filming on and off all week to make sure we bring you some good, solid, essential money-saving tips. These tips will help you live below your means, live below budget, but still have a high quality and full life. Sit back, relax, and let's get right to this video. Number one of the essential tips that will help you live below your means is to plan ahead. We know the same time every year when birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, and such occur. So when they're almost here, ready to arrive, we want to be ready. We want to make sure that throughout the year we're looking for gifts for people. We want to think ahead if you're cooking or making something for someone or throwing a small party, to buy the food as you go along so you're not stuck with a full bill of high-priced items the night before. So we're going to show you exactly what we're talking about. Paul's mom turned 91 last weekend, and we got to go over and have dinner with them and just share a wonderful time. So what did we do ahead? I know her favorite cake is a Black Forest cake, so I made sure we gathered all the ingredients for that ahead of time. We also wanted to give her some fresh flowers. How did we manage that and keep it low cost but still elegant and beautiful? How did we avoid having to go into the attic but still be able to carry the cake to her home and not ruin it? So many fun tips. One of the things we want to give my mother-in-law for her 91st birthday is a bouquet of fresh flowers. I encourage you all the time to check your local supermarket. These were $5 a bunch. So for $15, we have a beautiful array of flowers. I look at Goodwill, thrift stores, tag sales for really pretty unique vases. And then what we can do is make our own beautiful cut bouquet at a fraction of what a florist would cost, and it's very, very easy to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is start cutting these flowers down and arranging them. Now don't laugh, because each bouquet comes with 2 rubber bands. You have one on the top and one on the bottom. You can always use extra rubber bands. And they always come with a little food packet, which I am going to add right in here. And then I'll give my mother-in-law the 2 extra plant food packets. When she changes the water, she can add a little more food. So this is the first bunch. And now we have these 2 bunches. What I'm going to do is have Paul arrange them, because he really has an eye for that. He makes them all different heights, and it really comes out beautiful. I am going to turn this over to him and let him do some arranging. I love this pink and red combination. Now, I always keep ribbons if we get packages. So what I'm thinking is just tie a simple bow, but I'm not going to use this ragged end. I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to cut this little ragged end off as well. So I wrapped it around from behind. Now I brought it into the front. We're going to open up the bow part, and there we have it. Just a simple bouquet, absolutely beautiful. I know she's going to love it. If we were to go to a florist and get these flowers with the vase, it would have been $30, $40. We spent $15, and the vase I think was $1 or so. So we did well, and I know she'll love them. Now, another way we wanted to bless my mother-in-law is by making her a homemade Black Forest cake. Now, I usually make this for her every year. I will link the video down below of how I made it. We just finished the cake. Look how beautiful. I know she's going to love this. Now, my portable cake taker is up in the attic. So what I'm going to do instead is I have just a regular cake plate, and I'm going to take a plastic bowl, put it right over it. This is a great hack. And then what I'm going to do is just tape each side. Carefully hold it because you don't want to push it against the cake. Now you have a great little cake taker. So we are almost ready to go. I have a couple more gifts to wrap and then we'll be on our way. Once we arrive at my in-laws' home, Dixie and my father-in-law just love to play together. You can see how excited she is. She's such a blessing to them, and they look forward to seeing her. What a wonderful time we had. It was just great to be with them. Unfortunately, my mom was a little camera shy, but just want you all to know she is doing well. And you saw my father-in-law playing with Dixie. She is such a light in their lives. I can't even tell you. Well, let's get on to our second tip. And this one may be a little different, but I'm going to tell you to buy quality. Sometimes people think that spending less money is always the way to go. If you're spending a little more money on something that you know is going to last longer and be better for you, it is worth spending that money when you buy that higher quality item than buying a cheaper item over and over and over. Now, what happened the other day is we are going to be showing you a tip in a minute. And we went to the Dollar Tree to buy some spices. Not to consume, though. We were going to do this little DIY with them, which we're going to show you in a minute. On the front window of the Dollar Tree was a recall on cinnamon because of high lead content. Then we went in and looked at the food aisle, and there was another recall on applesauce. What I'm going to tell you to do, if you have any kind of Dollar Tree products in your home, and just go to Dollar Tree recalls and make sure you have nothing in your house that could not be good for you. And this is something we have to be aware of. Always do your research. But what is happening is people are going into the Dollar Tree and buying food products, and they are not good for you. So sometimes paying a little bit more is definitely worth it. Type into Google Dollar Tree recalls and you'll see all the recalls from the Dollar Tree. Right next door to our Dollar Tree is a store called Ocean State Job Lot. And they have, I guess, closeout items. I'm not sure. It's just a wonderful big store filled with everything. So we went in there to look at the spices. They were about 25 to 75 cents more than the Dollar Tree. After walking out of the Dollar Tree with nothing in regard to spices, we went to Ocean State Job Lot, which was right next door, and they had an array of spices and extracts made in the USA. So we ended up getting our spices there. So sometimes you need to look and do research and buy something that may cost a little bit more, but it's better for you in the long run, and it will save you money in the long run. Whether it's an appliance, whether it's food, whatever it is, do your research, know your products. Number 3, when it comes to living below your means, below budget, you all know we need to be creative. We constantly have to think outside the box, use what we already have, make do with what we have. And we have to look at things and say, hey, can I use this for something else? Or what can I do with this? It's still not warm enough to open the windows and air out the house here in New York. We want that fresh, bright air. We have had rain, it's cold. Honestly, we've had the fire still going. So what I did was I found something that Paul had used a long time ago, and I'm repurposing that item. And I'm using some spices and I'm using some extracts that I got at Ocean State Job Lot. And no, this is not a sponsored video, nothing like that. So let's see what we've been up to make our home smell fresh, delicious, and just cozy. This is something else we've been doing lately. I have a little dipper crock pot. This is just a tiny crock pot we bought years ago. And initially, Paul used it to melt wax for his guitar, something he had to do with the pickups on the guitars. But since then, he hasn't needed it. So it was just kind of sitting around. I thought, I'm going to reinvent this. I'm trying to get back to more natural fragrances in the house. What I've been doing is just taking some of those spices. Now, this is ground cloves. I paid $1.49. This is filled with water. I add a little bit of ground clove. And I'm using orange extract today. And these are pure extracts. Again, they're made in America. Add just a little bit of that. I plug my little dipper in, and this water heats throughout the day, making the house smell amazing. I love it because they're all natural. I'm not putting anything weird into the air. It simmers on low and slow. You're going to want to keep it out of reach of children, and you're going to want to keep it out of reach of pets, and just let it simmer. Don't leave it unattended, and make sure you keep an eye on the water. You want to make sure the water's full while it's plugged in. What a wonderful way to make your house smell like a little orange and cloves. It's always fun to be creative and to repurpose items into something new. And that little crock pot has done a great job making our house smell like, remember those oranges that people used to make at Christmas time? They were really big in like the 70s and 80s, where you take an orange and put cloves in it and tie a ribbon. That's what our home is smelling like. It smells wonderful, nothing artificial in the air. Really good. Number 4, you know we always encourage you to buy used secondhand good quality. Paul needed a little wardrobe refresh, and instead of like running to Kohl's or running to Macy's, we went to our old standby, our local thrift store. So we're going to show you what we picked up for Paul, what we picked up for my son, and how even if you're a man or you're shopping for hubby, don't forget secondhand, good quality, and I can't believe the bargains we found. Look at these amazing frugal finds. A lot of times we think of thrift stores and tag sales for women's clothing, but let me tell you, they have wonderful men's clothing as well. This is from a local thrift store in our area. This was $4.05. This is a shirt for Paul. The Territory Ahead brand. It's 100% cotton. Go to the website of the Territory Ahead and see how much these shirts sell for. Upwards of $100. They are 100% pure cotton, just beautiful. We've never bought one, but he's got one now. This is another beautiful button down for him. This was $4. This one is short sleeves. It's got the light blue, perfect colors for summer. Nice and light. The shirt looks like it's never ever been worn. Then I saw this one for our son. This was $4.50. It is a bass. And oh my goodness, the colors, short sleeves for summer, bright, beautiful, looks brand new. So don't forget, shopping secondhand. You can get some amazing name brand quality items at a literal fraction of what they sell for. Nothing like a good bargain, and these 3 definitely were. Number 5, another great way to enjoy a low spend lifestyle is to practice hospitality. Being around others is such a joy, but a lot of times our insecurities can stop us. My house isn't big enough. My house isn't nice enough. I don't know how to cook that well, or I don't have a lot of money to spend on a meal. Hospitality can be as simple as bread and butter and a cup of tea. Right after Christmas, we had picked up a ham. And if you are making a ham for Easter, I want to encourage you to try this recipe. We had my son over the other night. He brought a friend and we cooked up this ham. We want to share this recipe with you now in the hopes if you are making a ham on Sunday for Easter, you will give this recipe a try. It was effortless. The ham was moist, juicy, flavorful, and it was a total win. When we practice hospitality and we give back even to family members and their friends, as simple as that, you will be blessed beyond measure and people walk away from your home, no matter what you're serving, thinking it's a wonderful time. We hope this baked ham recipe somehow makes it on your Easter table. You will not be disappointed. For those of you who are making a ham for Easter, I thought I would go ahead because we had bought one for 49 cents a pound at Stop and Shop after the holidays and try out a new recipe for you. Now this is a cook's ham. It is spiral. It is fully cooked. It came with this packet of sweet ham glaze. Yeah, I'm not using this. Of course, you can go ahead and do that, absolutely, but we're going to make our own glaze. The first thing we're going to need is either a half a cup of pineapple juice or a half a cup of orange juice. Now, I do have a fresh orange, so I'm going to use this, and we're going to need some good mustard. And that's all we're going to start with the ham. So the first thing I'm going to do is squeeze out a half a cup of fresh orange juice, but you can use regular orange juice or pineapple juice. Either one will work great. We just unwrapped the ham, and now you see this little plastic disc? Make sure you remove that. So I have my half a cup of orange juice, and I'm just gonna put about a teaspoon, or you can put up to a tablespoon of mustard in. And I am using a stone ground mustard. You can use Dijon mustard, and I'm just mixing this together. Now the trick with this ham is we are not gonna put the glaze on until the last 15 minutes because we want to make sure that glaze stays on, doesn't drip off, and we get the full flavor. So all this is a half a cup of orange juice and about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of mustard. That's it. Now this is a spiral ham. You can see all the slices are cut except for in the back. And I am going to pour this in just to get it in between those slices. You're going to want to bake the ham in a completely foil-lined baking dish. Now remember, we are turning this face down just like this. And then I'm going to pour the rest right on top. That's all there is to it right now. 15 minutes before this ham is done cooking is when we're going to put the glaze on. My oven is preheated to 325 degrees. Now what I'm going to do is cover this ham completely with foil. You're going to be cooking at 15 minutes a pound at 325 degrees. This is just about a 9-pound ham, so this is going to cook about 2 hours and 15 minutes roughly. We may have to take our baster bulb and get some of the water out of the bottom, but we'll show you as we go. So this is going to go in right now, 325 degrees. This has been cooking for an hour, and you can see there is a lot of water on the bottom. Now, absolutely, you can baste the ham with this, but I'm going to take some of it out. Just be careful. You don't want to burn yourself. This is very hot. Okay, you don't want to take it all out because we want to keep some of that moisture in, but that was a lot for it to just sit in. So now I'm going to cover it. It's been cooking about an hour. I'm going to put it right back in, cover it again with the foil. Be careful. Again, it's super hot. One of the ingredients in the glaze is cola. Now, you don't have to use cola. You can use more orange juice or pineapple juice. Cola really gives it a richness of taste. This was $1 at Stop and Shop. So we're going to make our glaze now because it has to cool before we put it on the ham. So I've got half a cup of cola, half a cup of brown sugar, about a teaspoon of mustard, and I'm going to give this a good whisk. And I will link the original recipe down below as I always do. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. And what this is going to do is make this glaze a little bit thicker so that it will adhere to the ham. Now I have this over medium heat. We're going to let it come to a boil, and then we're going to lower it and let it just simmer for about 3 minutes. Every once in a while, and just give it a whisk. This simmered for 3 minutes. Look at it now. What we're going to do, because the ham still has an hour to cook or so, is going to turn this off, and I'm going to set it aside on the back burner with the heat off to just cool. The ham cooked for just about 2 hours. I just removed it from the oven, and I raised the oven temperature to 425 degrees. Now our glaze cooled and it is nice and thick. I am just going to brush it all over. So I just turned it on its side, and I am just going to get in there with this glaze. And what this is going to do, because we put the temperature up 425, it's just going to caramelize this and make it absolutely delicious. I'm going to put every bit of glaze on this. Then I'm going to put it back in the oven, uncovered. Took the foil off now, 425 degrees for 15 minutes. We just took this out of the oven. Oh my goodness, do you see this? It has caramelized. You want the internal temperature to be about 145 degrees. So we're gonna let it sit for just a few minutes, and then we will serve it up, but this looks wonderful.
Okay, we're gonna try the cola and mustard and brown sugar glaze on this spiral ham. I can't wait, it smells great.
Dixie wants a piece right now.
That was awesome. That was awesome. It's better than that little glaze package that comes with it. The ham is just moist. It's got a delicious flavor. The cola gave it a real good, I don't even know, like a caramelized flavor to it, sweet. Mustard gave it a little zing. It's just wonderful. We have homemade coleslaw here, and I made some mashed potatoes. We have a delicious meal. Really good, Paul-approved meal. So happy Easter all.
It was the best ham I have ever made. Wow, delicious. We have been eating leftovers, and they are just as good as the first night. So delicious. Give this recipe a try. So we thank you for sharing this time with us. The question of the day, share what you've been doing to live a frugal, low budget lifestyle this last week. It can be a tip on anything. How did you save money? Did you repurpose something? Did you reuse something? Any kind of little win you had this week, share it down below in the comments section. I know it will encourage us, and we know it will encourage our viewers. As we are approaching Easter this weekend, for those of you who celebrate, we wish you a wonderful, beautiful Resurrection Day. Please give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Make sure your notification bell is on, because even though we are at 1 video a week on Fridays, you know I miss you all sometimes, and I'm going to throw up a Tuesday video here and there. So I just want to make sure your notification bell is on. Just click it and put on for all. And then whenever we make a video, you will be notified. We ask you to be well. We ask you to be safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God greatly bless you.